Hari Om. Let us chant from verses 26 to 35 of chapter 10. Ashvatha sarva-vrikshanam devarshinam cha naradaha gandharvanam chitrarataha siddhanam kapilo munihi uchchaishrabashamashvanam vidhi mamabhritodbhavam Airavatam gajendranam naranam cha naradhipam ayudhanam aham vajram dhenunam asmi kamadho prajanashchasmi gandharvah sarpanam asmi vasukihi Anantaschasmi naganam varuno yadasamaham pitrnamartyamachasmi yamasam yamatamaham prahladaschasmi daityanam kala kalayatamaham Mriganam cha mrigendroham Vainateyascha vakshinam Pavana pavatamasmi Ramashastra-bhritamaham Jashanam makaraschasmi Strotasamasmi janavi Sarganamadhirantascha Madhyam chaivahamarjuna Adhyatma vidya vidyanam Vadha prabadhatamaham Aksharanam makarosmi Bandhasamasikaśya cha Ahamevakshaya kalaha Thataham vishvato mukha Mrityo sarvaharashchaham Udbhavascha bhavishyatam Kirti shri vakshanarinam Smrtir medha dhritishama Brihat sama tatha samnam Gayatri chandasamaham Masanam madgashirshoham Ruthonam kusumakaraha
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavakai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Various glories, various vibhutis of the Lord is enumerated. Each and every glory should be used for remembrance of the divine. So many vibhutis are described, so many glories are described, so that you remember God. Anything extraordinary powerful, huge, big, always has a tendency to inspire. Anything huge, big, great you see, temporarily there is an inspiration. Using that nature of a human being, he is enumerating various vibhutis, various glories. He takes something from the macrocosm, he takes something from the microcosm, and from the mythological stories, the Puranic characters. He takes the inspiring factors from all facets of human knowledge, and whatever is considered the best, he keeps on saying, it's me. It means anything that is best and noble is me. In the true sense of the term, there is no good and bad. All are divine. Everything is divine. In the true sense of the term, there is no such thing called good. There is no such thing called bad. There is only one thing called divine. The humanity is not matured to this level of understanding because we live life based on the division of right and wrong, good and bad. We don't live life on the understanding that everything is divine. We live life based on the definition of division of what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. That's why we always have this problem. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Nobody has ever asked, am I remembering the divine? All are concerned about doing the right thing. Am I doing the right thing? Nobody is concerned about, am I remembering the divine? In Vedanta, it's not about doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing. It is remembering the divine. And if you have to remember the divine, in the initial stages, you need various indicators. You need something from the external to remind you. So what he does, he takes all the noblest things and he's saying, this is me. If the good is God, then what happens to bad? Bad belongs to devil, demon. That's very clear. There is God, and then there is this devil. Who came first? Of the two, who came first? Obviously, you have to say God came first. If God has come first, out of God came the devil. It means anything that comes out of God will be godly, divine. Therefore, there is no such thing called devil. Or you have to say God and devil always exist for eternities. So there are these two things. God will exist for eternities. Devil also will exist for eternities. Then don't worry about being good and wrong. Don't worry about being good, being unselfish, being sacrificial and all. Join the Goshti of devil, isn't it? Join the devil's group, because eternity is what it is. If there is someone who is eternal and also can give joy, now being impulsive, being selfish and all that, if you can get joy from doing all that, what is the right thing to do? Who you should join? Ram Subramanian. I don't know about you. I will go and join his Goshti only. I will go and join the Goshti of devil. Why unnecessarily waste time in? Because from the day one, you get from the minute you join his group, everything is given, isn't it? But it doesn't work. It doesn't exist like that. Therefore, there is only one thing called divine. There's only one thing. That is divine. And everything is divine. Isavasyam idam sarvam. This is everything is divine. Very nice to hear. Very nice to hear. But the DMK or Vartha Sanapur, isn't it? Divine and all will go away. Isn't it? All DMK and divine and all will go away. Rahul Gandhi in Sonapur, isn't it? I don't know. I have nothing against these people. And I'm not a BJP fan, Modi fan also. I'm not saying I'm not their spokesperson here. Something is enough to make you remember that there is definitely life has these two divisions, divine and demonical. You need to rise to a very high level of maturity to understand there is only divine. The right and wrong is because of the limitation of your instrument. Because of the limitation of your instrument, you have to divide and see it like this. What is Krishna attempting here? Since you are living the life of division, since you have divided everything into right, wrong, good, bad, and all that, how to make you remember the divine? All the good things he is taking, and he's saying it's me, it's me, it's me. And so many lists we have seen. He has been saying, this is me, this is me, this is me. Up to verse number 29, we have covered. We move on to verse number 30. 30 we have to start. 30 padi. You have a clarification? Yeah, I'll take it. 30 padi.
Prahladascha smithaityānām kālah kalayatāmaham mrigāణāṃ ca mrigendroham vainatehyascha pakṣinām Prahladascha smithaityānām kālah kalayatāmaham mrigaṇāṃ ca mrigendroham vainatehyascha pakṣinām.
I am Prahlada of Daityas. I am time of reckoners. And of beasts, I am the lion. And Vainateya of birds. The list continues. I am Prahlada of Daityas. I am time of reckoners. And of beasts, I am the lion. And Vainateya of birds. This is verse number 30. Before we go into the explanation, there's a clarification. We'll take it up and then move. The clarification is, do we have to see the bad also as divine? That's a clarification. You don't see the bad as divine. You only say only divine exists. You don't first divide it as good and bad and then say good is divine, bad is divine. The very division of good and bad itself is against divine. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, first thing is you don't divide itself as right and wrong, good and bad. There is only divine. Which is very difficult to accept, which is very difficult to conceive. Therefore, learn to see the good as divine and then understand the bad also came from the same source. Therefore, that is also divine and I have nothing to do with it. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, you don't see bad first and then superimpose divine on that. Understand, good and bad is a superimposition upon divine. Able to follow? The good and bad is superimposed upon divine. You don't say good and bad is there and try to superimpose divine on good and bad. That's what we are doing. That's why we get so angry, we get very irritated, we get very frustrated. Because you want to superimpose. Because deep down you are convinced that it is bad. Deep down you are so convinced that this is bad, and you are trying to forcefully superimpose divine on it. Are you able to follow? Through knowledge and understanding, we are reversing it. What are we reversing it? Only divine exists. The good and bad is the superimposition. How to explain that? Through logic and reason it is explained. Through a Puranic story also they explain it. That is the verse that we are studying now. I am Prahlada of Daityas. Are you okay?
You love the bad in the person and use them in the same way.
You understand good and bad is a superimposition upon divine. There is no loving here. There is no loving here. It is simply an understanding. You don't love the bad. You don't love the good, because good and bad itself is good and bad is, from where does good and bad come? Where does good and bad come? Good and bad comes from your mind. Understand that. Good and bad is in your mind. Very, very difficult for human beings to accept it. Because the human ego, which likes to be a moralist, which likes to be a policeman, the human ego which wants to be a policeman, the human ego which likes to be a moralist, cannot accept it. What they cannot accept? The right and wrong, good and bad is in your head, is in your mind. What is the reality? Divine is the reality. And this is the division. This is something which is so impractical for human being to understand. This is something which is so difficult for human being to understand, to put it into practice. Nothing can be done with this. Now, what is the other way? One day you have to come to this understanding. How do you come to this understanding? At least see the good things as divine. You follow? When you say divine, it means your ego has no role in that. When you say good and bad, your ego is deciding everything. Again, I repeat, ego, when you say right and wrong, good and bad, it's very appealing to the ego. Why it is very appealing to the ego? Because the ego can decide who's right, who is wrong, what is right, what is wrong, and you can decide the quantum of punishment for the wrong, the bad. Wow. It's an interesting game it's a very interesting game for the ego to survive. If you say all are divine, your ego will not know. Your ego won't know what to do. Confusion. Your ego is utterly confused when you say everything is divine. If you say right and wrong, your ego is very alert. Again, I repeat, when you say right and wrong, your ego can become very alert. If you say everything is divine, the ego is confused. You follow? Very difficult is to break this condition. Very, very difficult is to break this condition. It's trying to help us in so many ways to break this condition. What is Bhagavad Gita? What is Krishna helping us to do? He's trying to help us to break this condition. Are you okay? Yes.
So what is the starting point of division?
What is the starting point of division of good and bad?
Any pairs of opposites.
Instrument, intellect. What is the starting point of what is it that divides? Intellect.
Not mind.
Intellect means distinguishing between the opposites. It is intellect. The starting point of division. What divides? What is it that distinguishes between the pairs of opposites? It is the intellect. When we use the mind, the intellect, we have to carefully, quickly adapt to the context in which we are talking. It will keep changing. When we say it's in the mind means it's in the subtle body, it means that. When you say it's in the mind means you can't ask, is it likes and dislikes, is it emotions? Are you able to follow? 3-4 words are interchangeably used. The question that you are asking is, what is it that divides? Instrument does it. Which instrument does it? What instrument divides? It is the intellect. It is the intellect that distinguishes between the door and the wall. Correct? It is intellect that distinguishes between food and non-food. It is intellect that is distinguishing. So this good and bad, right and wrong is the simple discriminatory function. Are you able to follow? So what instrument does it? Intellect does it. What is the starting point? Don't ask that question, because it is asking about creation. Are you able to follow? Don't ask about when did it start? Who knows when it started? We don't know, because it is asking about creation. That's why you should never ask when did it start? You follow what I'm saying? When did it start? We don't know. Creation, it is to say this started at this point of time is to say creation. Are you able to follow?
Because you are saying good and bad comes from the mind. So I'm asking, is the starting point mind or?
When I say good and bad comes from the mind, it is subtle body. It is in you. You are the creator. You, the jiva, the individual, is the creator of good and bad. Are you able to follow? Again, I repeat, when we say it's in your mind means you are the creator. You are the creator of right and wrong, good and bad. If we say it's in your head means you are the creator.
Mind also includes intellect.
Mind, intellect, subtle body, jiva, ego. In so many contexts, it will be used so interchangeably. Are you able to follow? We will not use it like it's not a precise fixed meaning. Ego means in every context, it means like this. You follow? Mind means it is like this in all contexts. Intellect means it is like this in all contexts. It is not like that. Go with the flow. So what is it that when we say it is in your mind means you are the creator of good and bad? Just stay with it. You follow? You are the creator of good and bad. Who created it? It's in your mind. You follow? To put it very simply, what is the definition of mind? What is the definition of mind? I'm asking you. What is the definition of mind? Emotions, impulses, feelings, likes and dislikes. Where is the two coming here? Are you able to follow? What is intellect? Intellect is the capacity to think, to question, to discriminate. It means that discrimination means to distinguishing, discerning factor. Now, this right and wrong, good and bad, where is it coming? Where is it? Is it feeling? Is it emotion? Is it an impulse? Is it likes and dislikes? Or it is the discernment of this is right, this is wrong. Where is it coming? Intellect. That's all. That's all, intellect. Since we are using intellect in a positive sense, we don't want to use the word here. Since we are using intellect in a positive sense all the time, we don't want to use the word intellect. We are meaning there is a faculty, there is something in you that is the reason for right and wrong, good and bad. Are you able to follow? All that you have to understand it as you. You are the creator of right, wrong, good, bad. You follow? Are you okay? Beautiful is this. Amongst Daityas, I am Prahlada. Kashyapa Rishi has two wives. Kashyapa, this is the Puranic story. Kashyapa Rishi has two wives, Aditi and Diti. Aditi is Devas. Diti is Daityas, Asuras. So, Kashyapa Rishi having two wives, the Devas and Asuras are the children of Devas and Asuras are the children of two different mothers but the same father. Are you able to understand? Devas and Asuras coming from where now? Coming from the same source. One father, two wives. That's why he says Daityanam. Daityanam means amongst the son of Diti. Amongst the in the lineage of Diti, I am Prahlada. Same story. You follow? The same father gave birth to Devas and the same father gave birth to Asuras. Generally speaking, they should be coming from two different lineages. No. How can both come from the same? It means the source is one. Certain manifestations which is unpleasant, we call it as Asuras. Certain manifestation which is pleasant, we call it as Deva. They will follow? Amongst the Daityas, Asuras, he says, I am Prahlada. God has no partiality for Devas and hatred for Asuras. God doesn't have all that. If you say God also has partiality, then there's no God at all. It is human ego that is partial. Partiality belongs to the ego. All embracing is the nature of the divine. Again, I repeat. All embracing is the nature of divine. Partial is dividing everything is the nature of ego. Who's Kashyapa Rishi? Kashyapa Rishi is, again the story goes, Kashyapa Rishi himself is born out of Brahma. Brahma produced 14 pairs. Brahma produced 14 pairs. They are called Prajapatis, the creators. Of the 14, Kashyapa is the great. And that great Kashyapa, who was born out of Lord, not Brahman, Brahma, the creator Brahma. The Chaturmukha Brahma, out of Brahma came Kashyapa. Okay. And who created the wives of Brahma? Who created the wives? Again, Brahma only created. So what Brahma did? He created 14 men and he created so many women. And then we are all the products of them. That's the story. Forget about the story. Please understand, when I say forget about the story, they are not superstitions. If I get into each and every story, 10th chapter in the Janmala, isn't it? Each and every story we start explaining the symbolism, we can never finish 10th chapter. Because those stories are only explaining the Upanishadic concepts are described as a story. They are not contradictory to the whatever the Upanishadic truths are, the Upanishadic truths are given in the form of a story, because people always like to listen to stories. In all story, the climax is known already. Do you know that? In all stories, the climax is known. What is the climax? What is the climax? the indulgent, powerful villain will die and the unselfish, sacrificial hero will win. All climaxes are the same. The indulgent, selfish, seemingly happy villain will die. The unselfish, sacrificial, suffering hero will win. Oh my God, how many movies can be made and how much more can be made out of it, and still we all will go and sit in the dark room, isn't it? Still we all will go and sit in the dark room and we will see and come back, isn't it? Anga, you don't have a problem. Puranic story, sir, these are all superstitions, sir. We don't believe in all these things. If a movie director comes and gives an interview, the whole lot will sit and clap. Anyway, that's insanity of humanity. No? What do we do? Yeah. In those days, these are the movies. Same concept. The concept don't, the truths do not change. Even in a movie, if the villain is surviving, na part 2 na continue pannuvom, isn't it? Part 2, it will continue. Where it will end? Have you ever seen a movie where villain is happily smiling and hero is dead? It can't be possible, isn't it? It's not possible because climax is no, not ready. Humanity is like that. So, what is the story? Brahma created. Lord Brahma, he is the creator, he created. Kashyapa of the 14 Prajapatis. We all don't know anything about these rishis and their stories and all that. So all this doesn't mean, all this won't mean anything to us now because we have lost in touch with all those Puranic things we have lost. Not only we have lost, we started seeing it as superstition. Not only we have started seeing it as superstition, in that also we started deciding what is right, what is wrong, and we all want to edit that also, isn't it? Things that person is trying to communicate something. What is he trying to communicate? Prahlada, Hiranyakashipu, the father, asked Prahlada this question. What is the question that Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlada? What is the question he asked? Where is your God? He asked, where is your God? He said, everywhere. Where is your God? Everywhere. If Vishnu is not everywhere, he will be very tensed now. Isn't it? He will be very tensed because who knows which pillar is going to break? It means he has to be hiding in. It's not a match fixing. No, it's not a match fixing. In this pillar only. No, if there are 1,000 pillars, Vishnu has to be hiding in all the 1,000 pillars because which pillar Hiranyakashipu is going to break? Nobody knows, including him. He also doesn't know that. Hiranyakashipu ke theriyada which pillar he is going to break. How will we know? And he just randomly broke one. He just randomly broke one pillar, and out of that came Narsimha, isn't it? Out of that came Narsimha. Half fish, half human being. There is a thing, no? There is a thing, no? Half fish, half human, mermaid. You run the half lion, half human. Yeah. Mermaid na female. Male also. Male also. Or kina merman. Merman. How he came? He came out half lion and half human. We are not getting into the story of Hiranyakashipu. We are not getting into that story. Why he is saying, I am Prahlada amongst the Daityas? In that group where ego worshippers and ego worshipping is the only reality, in that group there is one fellow who worshipped the divine, and that person is me. That's all. In that group, what is that group? The group of Daityas, Asuras. In that group, what does everybody do? They are all worshippers of ego. Yeah. And Allah, he made his own statue and he opened his own statue, isn't it? What did Hiranyakashipu did? Looks like he is the guru of all our politicians, isn't it? Looks like he is the guru of all our politicians. So politicians எல்லாம் கோவப்படவே கூடாது. எங்க பார்க்கணும்? புராண ஸ்டோரியில தான் அவங்க எடுத்துக்கிட்டாங்க. அவ்வளவுதான். Because what did Hiranyakashipu did? He made his own statue. He made his own statue. It's like Ram Subramaniam. It's like you having your own photograph in your house. That's the meaning இருக்குதா அதுல? You go to everybody's house, அவங்க மூஞ்சியே பார்க்க முடியல. அதுல போட்டோல எல்லாம் வேற அவங்கள பார்க்கணும். This is called ego worshipping. அப்படின்னா கிருஷ்ணா சொல்றாரு. I'm not saying. Srikanth. வீட்டுல வச்சுக்கோங்க போட்டோலாம் நிறைய. I'm not saying. He is saying ego worshippers, what will they do? They'll keep their photos. They'll keep their images everywhere, and they revel in looking at that. If you have not you, if anybody has this tendency, that person will be called as Vijay. That person will be called as Asura. Yeah, that person will be called as Asura. Rakshasa there. Selfie எடுத்துனே இருந்தா, I don't know, whatever we call it. Amongst those ego worshippers, Prahlada was so completely different because he is the worshipper of divine. His words, his teachings, his devotion, his attitude, worshipping divine constantly. Therefore, amongst the Daityas, he says, I am Prahlada. Beautiful is actually amongst them, there are so many other great asuras who are more powerful and all that. But he is not referring to them. Why he is not referring to them? Because they make their own statues and make everybody worship that. Ego worshippers. You follow? And one ego worshipper will be comfortable with another ego worshipper only. Appadan some transaction is possible, isn't it? One ego worshipper will be comfortable with whom? With another ego worshipper only. And Hiranyakashipu and Prahlada can never be comfortable with each other. Huh? No. It is Hiranyakashipu that became uncomfortable with Prahlada. Prahlada didn't have a problem at all with Hiranyakashipu because he kept on telling him, change. Are you able to follow? Of the two, who had a problem with whom? Hiranyakashipu was having problem with Prahlada. Prahlada never had a problem with Hiranyakashipu because he kept on saying, remember the divine. Remember the divine. The ego asks, how can there be anybody superior to me, including divine? As the ego. The ego always asks, how can there be anything superior to me other than my ego? Impossible to remember the divine. Therefore, he says, amongst the asuras, Rakshasas, I am Prahlada. In the every day when you wake up in the morning, you are supposed to remember a few. Allan tradition. Don't worry. Every day when you wake up in the morning, you are supposed to remember a few. In that, Prahlada comes first. In the Bhagavad tradition, not Bhagavad tradition, all human beings, when you wake up in the morning, you are supposed to remember a list of people. It's only newspaper, isn't it? As soon as you wake up, you don't WhatsApp, Facebook, what is happening? Nothing is happening there. So what you should, who all you should remember? Beautiful, there's a beautiful shloka. Prahlada Narada Parashara Pundarika Vyasambharisha Shuka Shaunaka Bhishmadargyan Rukmangada Arjuna Vasishta Vibhishanadi Punyaniman Parama Bhagavadan Smarami. Smaramina, I remember. There is the list. In the Sampradaya Bhajans, Lalla Padi Padi, we heard and it's like, we know the whole thing. In that list, the first person that you have to remember is Prahlada. Prahlada, Narada, Parashara, or don't worry about these names. Prahlada comes first in that. I am Prahlada amongst, right? Yes. Smarami means remember. When you wake up in the morning, don't rush into the world. Don't rush into contacting the world. Yeah. If you wake up early morning, it's okay. World itself is not yet woken up. Yeah. You wake up at 11 o'clock, doesn't matter. The world is already half the world is already gone. Yeah, nothing. So no problem. So when do you wake up? You wake up in the you wake up in the morning. After waking up, what you should do? You should not look for the gadgets. What you should do? You should remember. What you should remember? Those who have done from different backgrounds, different situations, how they all made that constant effort and tapas to remember the divine. Remembering them, you want to become like that. Remembering them, you want to become like that. You follow? Devas represent positive, healthy thoughts. Asuras represent unhealthy, negative, unhealthy thoughts. And both comes from the same source. Now story session is over. Now we are getting into the proper understanding. What is it? Devas means positive, healthy thoughts. Asuras means unhealthy, negative thoughts. Both came from one Prajapati, Kashyapa Prajapati. This is the symbolic meaning. You follow? Why he says I am the same? Why he says I am Prahlada? Because that's how we started. Even though God is, everything is divine, it is very difficult to remember divine in everywhere, in everything. Therefore, at least in the positive thoughts, in the Daivi Sampat, you remember the divine. At least in the Daivi Sampat is what we'll be studying in the 16th chapter. Daiva Sura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. The 16th chapter, when we go, we'll be dividing into two. The divine nature and the demonic nature. The distinction of divine and demonical. Hopefully, if we survive till there, we will read that. Poor Bhagavad Mudira Mari Tarla. The way in which it is going looks like you won't even finish chapter 10. Unhealthy thoughts produces unfavorable reactions. Healthy thoughts produce favorable reactions. And those favorable reactions is necessary to, these favorable reactions is very necessary to remember the divine. Are you able to follow? Again, I repeat. Negative, unhealthy thoughts produces unfavorable reactions. What is that unfavorable reactions? That you will know by now. Unfavorable na the 6. Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Bhaya, Dvesha. Idalla unfavorable thoughts. So one kind of thoughts produces these kind of reactions. We call them as asuric thoughts. Favorable divine thoughts. What is favorable divine thoughts? There is the calmness, there is an equanimity, there is the poise, so that you are able to penetrate deeper into life and ask questions about divine God. So the positive, healthy thoughts are meaningful only because it can lead you to the inquiry of the divine. And Prahlada had that. Are you okay till now? Another important beauty of Prahlada is this. All the time we complain about unfavorable environment, sir. The environment around me, sir, adu mattu maathitamna, everything will be all right. The problem that I'm not able to remember divine is because of what? So the people that I'm around, the family, the people. You will also forget divine, sir. I'm not remembering. I'm forgetting. How can I remember in your house? Are you able to follow? Prahlada breaks that. All the list that we gave have broken that. What did they break? The environment is of no consequence as long as you are doing your tapas. As long as you are doing your tapas and your sadhana, environment is of no consequence. And all the time we wait for, all the time we are constantly looking for an favorable, conducive environment, isn't it? Prahlada comes and says, with Hiranyakashipu, what conducive environment you have to remember the divine. In fact, it is exactly the opposite. And most of the world is like Hiranyakashipu only, yeah? How do you know that? If any child says, I want to remember the divine 24/7, the parent will say, don't do that. Hiranyakashipu, எங்க பார்த்தாலும் Hiranyakashipu தான் இப்போ கூட. புரியுதா? கொளத்தூர். Hiranyakashipu அன்னைக்கு இல்லை. Anybody who says, I will remember the divine, na Bayamurthy punishment kudupanna, that is Hiranyakashipu. And we know Hiranyakashipus are existing in, what is the human population today? How old Hiranyakashipus are existing even today? Why? Because Hiranyakashipu said what? Remembering the divine Allah, don't do it so much. Adanal inna kadaikum? Onna kadikadu, isn't it? At least you worship Hiranyakashipu, you will get something. Shrikant. Divine worship panna enna kadaikum? Onna kadikadu. Therefore, worship in that unconducive, difficult, contrary environment. How did he remember the divine? He is extraordinary. He is very extraordinary. And therefore he says, I am that Prahlada. அங்க கூட கிரெடிட் அவருக்கு கொடுக்க மாட்டேங்கிறார் இல்லையா? அங்க கூட கிருஷ்ணா இஸ் நாட் வாண்டிங் டு கிவ் த கிரெடிட் டு பிரகலாதா. ஹி இஸ் டேக்கிங் த கிரெடிட் டு himself. I am Prahlada. All that he is saying is I am Prahlada, I am amongst Daityas. அவ்வளவுதான். இந்த ஸ்டோரிலாம் நம்ம டெவலப் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறோம் உட்கார்ந்துட்டு. ராம் சுப்ரமணியம் அவர் அதெல்லாம் சொல்லவே இல்லை. He is simply saying I am Prahlada amongst Daityas. There are so many parables in this 75, 76 expressions of the Vibhuti Yoga. Each and every chapter is so extraordinary. So many people think this 10 and 11 choice lo kuda vittu poiralam sir. Because he just says I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this. What is there? I am this, I am this, I am this. And every word he says I am this is so divine, so extraordinary, so beautiful. So he says I am Prahlada amongst Daityas. So whenever you complain about somebody wasting their time worshipping divine, remember you are becoming a what are you becoming? You are becoming a Hiranyakashipu. Remember that. Any interference with the divine, you are becoming a Hiranyakashipu. And obviously there will be a consequence to that interference. Obviously there will be a consequence. Obviously there will be a consequence to that way of thinking and doing things. Prahlada comes and says, even in the most unconducive contra environment, you can still remember the divine. All that you got to do is what? Are you willing to remember? That's the challenge. You don't want to remember and you blame the environment is not conducive. If you want to remember, no environment can stop it. The English saying, the walls of the prison cannot stop the thoughts. The walls of the prison can stop only the body. The walls of the prison cannot stop the thoughts. I am Prahlada Asmi Daityanam. Amongst the lineage of Diti, the lineage of Diti is called Daitya. The lineage of Diti is called Daityas. Amongst Daityas, I am Prahlada, one of the greatest devotee. Why he is greatest devotee is because everything around him is so unconducive. Everything around him, nothing was conducive. Prahladaschasmi Daityanam. Then he goes on to say, beautiful, the next one. Idu konjam bayama irukku, but still. Kala Kalayatamaham. He's saying, I am the Kala, the time. I keep accounts of everything, he says. Kala means time. Time means keeping accounts of everything. What is keeping accounts? What is keeping account? Everything that you do is a karma, an action. All that you do is an action. And each and every action has a consequence. And what does Kala do? First, it has to register your action. Based on that, there is a consequence. And also it will ensure that the consequence will come to you. Also, it will ensure that the consequence should come to you at the at the right time and the right place. Overall account maintain பண்றதே கஷ்டம், isn't it? Maintaining the account of one person itself is difficult, and this person maintains accounts of who? Of 8 billion. 8 billion. It's only human beings. Now what about others? Everything that you do gets converted into the 3 types of karma: the sanchita karma, the prarabdha karma, the agami karma. Kala means ensuring all these karmas exist and making sure that all gets come to you at the time when you have to. It will ensure that the consequence comes to you at the right time it has to come. Consequence coming to you at the right time is called justice. Is called dharma. Are you able to follow? Justice means what? The consequence should come to you at the right time. Then only it is justice. And I am Kalaha means I am that justice, he said. I am that justice. I am that justice. அது என்ன ஜஸ்டிஸ்? ஒரே ஜட்ஜி தான், சிங்கிள் கோர்ட், ஒரே ஜட்ஜி, பெஞ்ச் எல்லாம் கிடையாதுங்க. நோ அப்பீல், நோ அப்பீல், நோ நத்திங், நோ ஆர்குமெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் கிடையவே கிடையாது இல்லையா? மானசம் கர்மா பண்ணியாச்சா, பஞ்ச்ட். வாச்சிகம் கர்மா பண்ணியாச்சா, பஞ்ச்ட். காயகம் கர்மா, இட்ஸ் பஞ்ச்ட். Oh my God. The tamoguna is so deep that நமக்கு பயமே வருதில்லை. Are you able to follow? The tamoguna in a human being is so deep that there is absolutely no responsibility at all. Absolutely no responsibility at all because of the tamoguna is so deep. He's saying, I am that kala, I am that time. I am that time means what? I am that time that is responsible for the manifestation of all karmas. All karmas. And who maintains the account? Who maintains that account? அவருக்கு ஒரு பேர் இருக்குது இல்லையா? சித்ரகுப்தா. There are people who have Gupta as their surname. You know that? Correct? That's good. And you know the meaning of the word Gupta? Secret. Gupta na secret nartham. Who all will have the surnames Gupta? Yaar avangalla? Who will have the surname Gupta? I told this to Arvind 1 year back. He's laughing. 3 days, every time I meet him, we start laughing. His name is Arvind Gupta. You know what this Gupta means? Secret. And who all will have Gupta as their surname? Yaar avangalla? Okay, what is their profession? Business. Guptas na Vaishyas, business people. Secret. சரி, சீக்ரெட்டுக்கும் பிசினஸ்க்கும் என்ன சம்பந்தம்? சீக்ரெட்டுக்கும் பிசினஸ்க்கும் ஒரு சம்பந்தம் இருக்குது ஸ்ரீகாந்த். இல்லையா? ஒரு கனெக்ஷன் இருக்குது. வாட் இஸ் த கனெக்ஷன்? பிசினஸ்ல உண்மையே பேசக்கூடாது. In business, you should not speak the truth. அப்பதான் பிசினஸ் செய்ய முடியும். நோ, இவ்வளவுக்கு இவ்வளோ ஆச்சு, இவ்வளோனாக்கா ஆடப்பா இவ்வளோ இதுன்னா ஏமாத்துறீங்களேன்னு விடுவாங்க. யூ ஃபாலோ? சித்ரகுப்தா அவர் அந்த மாதிரி தான். So secretively it is kept that you can never know it. You can never know it. It's very simple. இப்போ வர்மா surnames itself is so beautiful. Varma. Varmana kavacham nartham, protector nartham. So all the Varmas will be belonging to the Kshatriya clan because they are the protectors. Sharma abdinna Sharma na Brahmins. Sharma na quietude, peace, tranquil nartham. So a Brahmin is supposed to be quiet, peace, tranquil. இப்பெல்லாம் யாருமே கிடையாது. சர்மான் பேர் தான் இருக்குது, தவிர பீஸும் இல்லை, டிராங்குலிட்டியும் இல்லை, குவைட்டிடியூடும் கிடையாது. இல்ல எல்லாம் ஒரே கேட்டகரி தான். இன்னைக்கு 3 குணாஸ்லாம் கிடையவே கிடையாது. பேப்பர்ல ரஜஸும் சத்துவாவும் இருக்குது. On paper, rajas and sattva is existing. In reality, there's only one guna that is existing. What is that? Tamo guna. Why? Because there's no fear at all. Nobody seems to have fear of anything. Whatever I want to do, I can do, and I can get away with it. And people are thinking, what guna is this? இங்க வந்து கால கலையதா மோகம் பிரம்மன் self-realization moksha we have to keep talking. So he says, I am the Kala. Why Kala? Because everything is accounted so perfectly that you can never, not one will be missed. Not a single thought that you entertain will be missed. Not a single word that you utter will be missed. Not a single action that you do will be missed. It is punched, it is recorded. I don't know what kind of computer he is using. In the computer, I don't know what is, what computer he is using. In the cloud, store panni vekkiraarnu therilla, and how he is delivering it at the time. All karma will ripen and the palam will be produced at the right time. There is a law that is making sure. That law is called Kala. Identifying with that, he is saying, I am that. I am time. Again, I repeat. Every karma will ripen and it will produce the fruit. For every karma and palam, something has to maintain it. That maintaining principle is called time. What is time now? Time now, don't look at the clock. Minutes, seconds, hours, year, week, month, year, adum or time da. Are you able to follow? What is time? Time is the supreme justice. It delivers everything it delivers without fail. That's why in the 18th chapter, when he talking about sattvic intellect, he says sattvic intellect knows what to fear and what not to fear. Sattvic intellect only. Only if you have a sattvic intellect, you will know what to fear and what not to fear. Are you able to follow what is this Kala Tattvam? I am that Kala, he says. So, Kala Tattva is responsible for maintaining the accounts, ensures that it ripens and comes to you at the appropriate time. I am that one who's maintaining. And look at the grand plan of nature. At least I used to sit and dream all this. So many people, karma has to simultaneously fructify. So many people's karma has to simultaneously fructify. It means there is such a big complex network of action fructification happening at the same time, without any chaos, without any accident. Everything is happening so perfectly. And he says, I am that who's doing all this. You feel like prostrating? You feel like prostrating to him and say, I'll be very responsible from today. Yeah. I'll be very responsible. Somebody's punyam is fructifying at the same time. Somebody's papam is fructifying at the same time. Now, how this is all maintained, how it is all designed, how it is so perfectly functioning, that perfect executor of everything without a mistake, without a chaos, and not a single accident. That is called Kala, also known as Yama. Identifying with this law, he says, I am Kala, isn't it? Somebody is falling sick, somebody is serving. So beautiful it is. Same situation, how different karmas are fructifying. Somebody is sick, somebody is serving the sick. Look at the complex. Look at the complexity of it. Even if you understand the complexity of one family with 4 people, it is mind-boggling, isn't it? Even just to four individuals. It's so mind-boggling. Imagine the entire cosmos being maintained like that. Is there a chance for you to escape? Is there a chance for you to escape? You cannot escape. You cannot escape. That's why he's saying, I am that Kala. I am that Kala. I am that time. Appropriate karma, appropriate person, appropriate time. That's why even colloquially we say, Ellathum or time varnu, sir, they say, isn't it? Ellathum or time varnu, they say. It means what? Some karma has to get exhausted for something else to come. So you just have to say, Rama, and the period you have to go through that period. What a beautiful, powerful thought it is. What an extraordinary strength this knowledge gives. And what will be the consequence to the humanity that is ignoring this knowledge? Adu ade karma dana. Yeah, adu ade karma dana. So again, it will rectify. See, what a complicated order that Yama is trying to manage. How he has to connect the people also rightly. ஒரு 2 people meet பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னா, some karmas are getting, how he has to connect the 2 people. That's why in this Vedantic, in this Vedic Vedantic thing, we take everything as the karma and we go through that. That's why in this culture, there is no such thing called divorces at all. Now there is only divorces. Other than that, nothing is happening, isn't it? Whether they know how to get married and live together, that we don't know. But one thing they know for sure, how to get divorced. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm also telling people get divorced. Marriage, it doesn't make any difference. Whether you get married and live or whether you do what difference. Are you able to follow? There is the Kala Tattvam. There is this God. There is this Yama watching, ensuring that all are, each and everything is accounted, and it will fructify. Exemption kadikuma? Can you plead for an exemption? Can you plead for postponement? Okay, sir. Okay. Judgment is given. Execute பண்றதுக்கு ஒரு வாரம் தள்ளி execute பண்ணுங்கல்ல. Give me 1 week, no. Appropriate person, appropriate place, appropriate time, complex network. long back, one of the persons came to the Guru and said, உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்ச நல்ல old age home ஏதாவது இருக்குதா? He was asking. He is asking, the question is, do you know of any good old age home? He turned back and asked, for your mother or father, he asked. Whom are you asking this for? To your father or mother? That question itself, the fellow started shaking. Mother. Old age home for the mother. Why? She is losing her sanity. She is losing her sanity. And very difficult to manage her, to maintain her. Correct? Because suddenly if you leave the door open, she walks out. And she won't know where she is going. And you also can't go and interrupt. What to do? What will be your advice? What will be anybody's advice? The advice that you give shows whether you are tamasic or rajasic or sattvic. The advice that you give. அதனால இந்த சிச்சுவேஷன் நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுவேன்னு யாராவது கேட்டா போறோம். You will know whether that person is tamasic, rajasic, sattvic. You have to keep them in a safe place, no sir, for their welfare only. What is a safe place? Old age home, huh? You follow? He said, you want to do, it's your karma. I am not going to be part of this, he said. He said, you want to do, you do it. It's your karma. I am not going to be part of this. I am not going to be part of this. What is not being part of this means? You are creating a karma which you don't know what you are creating. You don't know what you are creating. The person who knows, they will behave very differently. The person who doesn't know, they will behave differently. Are you able to follow? The one who knows what's going to happen will have a different behavior. The one who is so blinded to these facts behave differently. And then they will come and ask. And then they will come and ask. I am suffering. I am in pain. Nothing in life is moving in the right direction. எதுல கை வச்சாலும் போண்டி தான் ஆகுது, நஷ்டம் தான் ஆகுது. I don't know what is happening. And all these fellows are all what you should remember in your head at that point of time. Kala kalayatamaham. That kala is working. That kala is working so perfectly as always. And how can that kala keep doing that for yuga after yuga? Are you able to follow? He doesn't seem to get tired at all. No retirement at all for that person, it looks like. Isn't it? No retirement at all. அதே சித்திரகுப்தா தான் இன்னைக்கும் இருக்கிறாரு. Isn't it? Same Chitragupta is still today, and the same Chitragupta will be there even in future. இன்னைக்கு கிளாஸ் ரொம்ப போர் சார், வெரி அன்ஹாப்பி. Some karma is being exhausting. இல்ல இன்னைக்கு ரொம்ப போர் அடிச்சு சார் கிளாஸ், எதுக்கு சம்பந்தம் இல்லாம பேசினிருக்கீங்க. That is one karma. Same situation. Are you able to follow? In the same situation, somebody else will say, in the same situation, the same class, somebody will come and say, what What a fantastic life. It means something else of yours is fructifying. I don't know what is happening, isn't it? Whether punya povda, pavam varada, who only? Irukra punya exhaust and irukada, pusa pavam varada, God only knows what is. Are you able to follow? It means what? I am that kala means be responsible. Be responsible. Number 2, take responsibility. Whatsoever is happening is because of your own making. Take that responsibility. Take that responsibility. It is my own making that is fructifying. It is my own making that is fructifying. It is my own making. And thank God it has started to fructify, because very soon it will get over. Now, fructification process has started. No. Are you able to follow? The fructification process has started, and fructification will not be there for eternities like that. It won't be for eternities. It means the fructification has started means very soon it will end. Keeping it alive, prolonging it is in your hands now. Are you able to follow? Keeping it alive and prolonging it is who's keeping it alive? You are the one who's keeping it alive. Who's prolonging it? You are the one who is prolonging it. I am Kala. I am that time. And then he goes on to say, I am lion amongst the beasts. Mriganam Mrigendroham. Lion and Artham, the king. The king, what it means is, why lion is known as the king of animals? When lion walks in, all other animals quietly leave the place. That's all. When lion walks in, they all leave the place. So looks like almost everything is giving respect to that. That in that sense it is the king, respected and moved away. In that sense, I am the lion amongst all beasts, because power, there are other animals who are more powerful than lion. Even that powerful animal also will walk away when lion enters. Amongst the winged birds, I am Vainateya. Vainateya is a very orthodox name. The popular name is Garuda. Vainateya, that's a very orthodox name. Vainateya is orthodox name. The popular name is Garuda. Vainateya means the son of Vinatha. Vinatha is the mother. Vainateya. Popular name is Garuda. Why amongst the birds I am Vainateya, I am Garuda. The Vaishnava Sampradaya puts Garuda itself as at the status of one great devotee. No, in fact, he is considered as one of the devotees. All the time in the presence of the God. All the time in the presence of the God. So what all is associated with God also he is saying, I am that. Previously he said, the serpent is me. Somewhere else, something else associated, he said, it's me. Now he is saying, the Garuda is me. Amongst the winged birds, I am Garuda. Birds nale wing irukudhu. Wings irundha, that's called a a bird. That's why even the aeroplane is called a bird, no? Huh? Even the aeroplane is called a bird because it also has wings, isn't it? Sitting there, you can see how the wings are doing. I'm not Airbus. I'm not Boeing. I'm not this. I am. Yeah. Airbus is one bird. Boeing is another bird. Amongst all these birds, I am Vainateya Garuda. Why? Because all the time in association with the divine, all the time remembering the divine, being with the divine. Therefore, he says, I am that. Therefore, I am that Garuda. Prahlada, you remember for what? To summarize, Prahlada, you should remember for what? Not blaming the unconducive environment. Can't blame. Whenever you blame about the environment not being conducive, remember Prahlada. Time na remember the law. Time is the supreme justice. Time equals dharma. Time equals supreme justice. Time equals yama. That's why another name for yama is kala. Another name for yama is. So I am Prahlada. I am Kala. I am lion. I am Vainateya. Verse number 30. We'll continue with 31 onwards in the next session. Yes, Ram Subramanian.
Yes, Shankar has posted a clarification.
அவரெல்லாம் எதுக்கு போஸ்ட் பண்றாரு? Where is his question? Shankar, when wickedness stands forth revealed goodness as goodness bereft of a guide, how does this fit in the context of good and bad? Correct?
Yes, sir, you said don't divide in the first place.
Correct. Don't divide in the first place. Don't divide in the first place. Now that you have already divided, what you should do to get back? When wickedness stands forth revealed as goodness bereft of a guide is to get back to the state of non-division. Are you able to follow, Shankar?
No.
Now that you have already divided, you should stop dividing it.
Okay.
How? Simply saying stop dividing will not help.
Yes.
It's like telling an angry person, don't get angry. He'll get more angry only. So you are dividing, stop dividing. It won't work. So how to stop dividing? There are various methods. Of the various methods of stopping the division of right and wrong, good and bad, one method is happy and blessed are. We have reached a state of happy and blessed are when wickedness stands forth revealed as goodness bereft of guide. You are in that blessed state of existence. When you are in that blessed state of existence, you see wickedness. And that wickedness is because of what? Lack of guidance. Guidance irundha, it won't be like this. Are you able to follow? So you are not criticizing, you are not condemning, you are not hurting. All that you are saying is it is due to proper, it is lack of guidance. If I didn't have the guidance, I will also be like that. Are you able to follow now? If I didn't have the guidance, I will also be like that. I am having the guidance, I am like this. The other is not having the guidance. Therefore, Wickedness stands forth revealed as it is good only. Avaru nallavaru dhaan. Guidance illa avladha. Are you able to follow? It means, what are you eliminating? The dvesha is gone. Are you able to follow? The dvesha is gone. That's all. So, wow. So what is he actually saying? They are also good only. Only difference is what? Lack of guidance. So if they have the proper guidance, they will also be good because they are intrinsically good. You follow what I'm saying? That's how it works. When wickedness stands forth revealed as goodness bereft of a guide, means dvesha goes out. Why dvesha goes out? Guidance. This person is literate, another person is illiterate. This person is illiterate because he has not yet gone through the process of education. Once a person goes through the process of education, what will happen? That person also will become a literate. So it is due to lack of guidance. Therefore, your thing is to bring back the what you should focus on. Guidance. And Shastra is the guidance. Are you able to follow? Shankar. Ram Subramanian, welcome to you. Ram Subramanian.
Yes, sir. Sir, yes. So, sir, my question is in context of the elaborate discussion on Hiranyakashipu. So there is this Asura who's being told that to get moksha, right? So he has to serve the Lord for 10 janmas or get killed by the Lord in 3 janmas, right? So then we have Ravana Kumbhakarna getting killed by Rama, then Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu by Varaha Avtara and Narasimha Avtara. And then similarly, we have Sisupala and Dandavakra by Krishna, right? So my question, sir, is, of course, we have great devotees like Prahalada, right, who are thinking about the Lord always, right, in many ways. But the question is, so when this person has taken birth to get killed by the Lord, right, to provoke the Lord and to trigger the Lord to kill, to actually kill, right? So is this person also not thinking about the Lord always? Right, Hiranyakashipu also, he's thinking about the Lord and he wants to do things that will anger the Lord, provoke the Lord, and get killed and getting towards moksha. So,
Ram Subramanian.
Wanted to seek your thoughts on whether this person is denying God or accepting God as such, sir.
Ram Subramanian. Srikanth, Ram Subramanian கேட்கிறாருன்னு எனக்கு புரியல இல்லையா? All that he's saying is, all the asuras is a fallen god. All the asuras is fallen god. That's how the Puranic story starts. They were all with God. They developed some arrogance. They made some error there. Because of that arrogance, they fell. So who are all the asuras? Who are the asuras of today? They have fallen from the godly status. That's how story starts. He's giving 10 names. Ellarku common principle unnada. Ram Subramanian. Correct?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So all asura, who's an asura? Who was God and fallen. Having done that mistake, they repent. They want to undo that. So they go to God and asked, we made this mistake. No, in this position, I should not have done that. See, Ram Subramanian. Justice important factor of justice is punishment. One of the vital factors of justice is punishment. Correct?
Yes.
Punishment cannot be equal to everybody. Punishment differs according to the status of the person. Again, I repeat, punishment cannot be equal to all. Punishment differs. That is dharma. Sometime I will elaborate on all this. Don't ask clarifications and all this now. Chumma swallow this. To put it very simply, a fellow pickpocket, another fellow sitting in the boardroom, using their intelligence and swindling people, are both the same?
At some level.
Punishment will be the same for both? No, it is not. It will not be the same. That's how the dharma is. So this is how dharma, which our constitution may not agree, and if our constitution doesn't agree, it's a problem of the constitution. Yama says, I don't care about your constitution. Yama will say, who cares about your constitution? You follow my constitution. If you don't follow, I'll make you follow one day. Are you able to follow? Human constitution doesn't make it. You can say whatever you want to. Full bench, 13 bench, 8 bench, 9 பேர் nothing changes. எங்க 1% rule தான் Yama. Are you able to follow?
Yes.
A person committing a mistake at the height, it's different. You follow what I'm saying? So these people who are with the divine should not have become arrogant. They made the mistake of becoming arrogant. At that height, they made a mistake. For which the punishment? What is the punishment? Separate from me is the punishment. What is the punishment given to them? Move away from me is the punishment. God says that. God tells him, move away from me. That's the punishment. For how long? For how long? On the period, Kala only knows how long. Kala only knows. You follow what I'm saying? You make a mistake, you do an action. For that action, there has to be a price. And what is the price? God says, move away from me. That is the punishment. In that moving away, you will never ever commit it again. So they said, leave me. Curse. Then the question is, but we want to come back. Okay, two options he says. 100 life of devotee or 1 life of extreme hate. 100 life of devotion, 1 life of extreme hatred. What was their intention? To get back to the divine, Therefore, what they chose? They chose that life. Are you able to follow? From that, we derive a message. From each and every aspect of the story, we derive a message. Are you able to follow? When one part of the story is explained to give one message, you should not bring in another part to misunderstand. That's why we need that's why it's called the art of thinking it is. When one part of the story is explained to convey some point, you don't bring in another angle and contradict it. This is called kutarka in thinking. You follow what I'm saying?
Okay.
But still, the principle remains the same. What is the principle? The point is still proven. The point didn't go wrong. The law didn't go wrong. What is the law? A asura is a fallen god. Who's an asura? Who's a sinner? The potential saint. The potential saint is the sinner. All that you have to do is what? Guidance. With the proper guidance, this person is going to become. Are you able to follow?
Yes.
Ram Subramanian.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Therefore, there is only divine, there is only goodness. Because of ego or arrogance, there is a temporary fall. And how temporary can be decided by you. 100 janma irukkalam, 1 janma irukkalam. Wise people, they decided in 1 janma they wanted to get back. Theme avladha. Correct? You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Last clarification and we conclude for today.
Thank you, sir.
It's a goodness where our guide is given. So we have to help them with Shastra or with this understand them with goodness.
Yeah. The question is based on the good. Sorry, say that again.
No, okay. I just want to repeat what you were saying to that person. That's not my question. Goodness, where is the guide is given? So are you saying look at it that way, or are you saying help them with the Shastras?
Help them with the Shastras.
My question is, if you start judging a person, and then that means you're seeing the good and bad. So where does judgment come into the divinity?
Where does judgment comes in? Judgment itself means bad. The word judgment itself means you are branding the other person as bad. Judgment itself always has a negative connotation. Judgment always have a negative connotation because you will only say, I am inspired by the goodness. You will not say I am judging him as good. Able to follow? When you see a bad person, you will say, oh my God, this fellow is bad. Judgment. When you see something good, when you see something holy, what would you say it is? What word you will use? Inspire, impressed. You follow what I'm saying? I'm impressed by your badness, you will not say. So the very word judgment itself has a negative connotation. That's why we say don't judge. Don't judge means don't look at the negative aspects of anybody. Are you able to follow? Again, I repeat, when we say don't judge, it means don't look at the negative aspect of anybody. All human being is a mixture. This is the rule. This is the formula. All human beings are a mixture of right and wrong, good and something in that person will be agreeable, something in that person will not be agreeable. Now, this is what? So every human being is a mixture. All human beings are a mixture. Having said this, if you want to grow in life, if you want to evolve, you want to become unselfish, you want to get to the divine, what you should do? That is, if you want to become unselfish and get to the divine. If you say, I'm not interested in this, then there's no problem. If you say, I want to become unselfish and get to the divine, one of the important tapas that you have to do is, when you see another human being, what are you seeing? When you see another human being, what are you seeing? That's why so many people, when I say, wow, this person is so good, immediately they tell me, illa sir, ungalku theriyadha avangala patti. Immediately I'll be given a lecture about that person. Not that we don't, but we don't even want to pay attention to that. Are you able to follow? It's not that we don't know. That's the area that we don't want to pay attention to. Why? Why in the spiritual path I should not pay attention to? If I pay attention to it means I'm thinking about it. If I'm thinking about means I have already started depositing thoughts. Yaar melendu paathu irukkranga? Kala is watching. Oh my God, abba vana. Since he is watching, since I can't escape that, might as well behave properly. That's how it is connected. Are you able to follow? So, all human beings are a mixture of right and wrong, good and bad. In the spiritual path, you should focus on what? You should identify and you should focus only on the goodness, get inspired by it, and move in the path. But sir, avangulta and the quality ella irukudhe. There is kala there, no? There is kala there, no? Why is your BP rising? Since when you started taking law onto your hands? Yeah, Shankar. சட்டத்தை என்னைக்குமே கையில் எடுக்கக்கூடாது. கரெக்டா? இல்லையா? சட்டத்தை கையில் எடுக்கவே கூடாது. அவங்க பார்த்துக்க போறாங்க. அவ்வளவுதான். ரொம்ப கம்முன்னு இருந்தாலே போதும். Are you able to follow? Therefore, judgment itself means there is always something negative about it. There's a negative connotation. And if you pay attention to that, see, as it is, you are struggling to get out of you means not you, generally I'm talking about. As it is, a human being is struggling to get out of negativities. On top of it, I'm focusing on the negativity of each and every person around me. I'm only reinforcing what? Negativities. So to that extent, I'm reinforcing negativities, I'm moving in the opposite direction. Yeah. God asked the gatekeepers. They made a mistake, ego. The Rishi came, they didn't allow. The Rishi came to see God. The gatekeeper said, God is sleeping, don't go and disturb. They made the Rishi, they made the great man wait. Adhan upon a mistake. God came out and said, how can you tell this? How can you tell the Rishi to wait? But master, you are sleeping, how can we disturb? யார் வந்தா நிறுத்தணும், யார் வந்தா உள்ள ஓடணும்னு தெரியாதா? Are you able to follow? Somebody comes, who you don't know that, so you leave me, you are not fit to be my gatekeeper. You are not fit to be my gatekeeper. You are banished. They started crying. I will not do that mistake again. I will not do that mistake again. Yeah, okay. What do I do now? God gave them a chance. 100 janmas you can be away. And 1 janma of extreme hatred, you can be away. 100 janmas or 1 janma. What will the most majority choose? The 100 janma. The win-win situation, isn't it? Yeah, that is win-win situation. 100 janma of moving away from the divine. You can be 1 janma away from me, or you can be 100 janmas away from me. God is giving them that option. What do you want? In that 100 janma, when you are away from me, world you will be given a Nobel Prize, you will be made the Prime Minister, you will be this. 100 janmas like that, or 1 janma of extreme hatred towards me, but you will come to me at the end. Who will come and take you? Who will come and take you? I myself will come and take you. Of these 2 janmas, what do you, of these 2 possibilities, which one you want? God asked. They must be extraordinary men. They must be extraordinary intellect they should have been having. They said 1 janma. So in that 1 janma, the thought of God, anybody saying anything about God will anger them, irritate them. Extreme life of cruelty and all that. Once that period is over, who comes and kills them? We also get killed. They also got killed. Yeah, everybody dies. We all get killed. They also got killed. But their killing is a celebration. Their killing is a liberation. Why? Because who came? Who came? God himself came. God himself came. So actually, it's not a killing at all. It's just saying, come. Come. Yeah. Actually, it's no killing. Are you able to follow? That's why we celebrate it. That's why all the festivals that we celebrate is the death of 1 asura. Diwali is the death of 1 asura. Every function is the death of one asura. Why? It is to be celebrated. What is a celebration? This is the celebration. Are you able to follow? It means what? It means what? When wickedness stands forth revealed as goodness bereft of a guide, it means what? Wherever you see asura, wherever you see asuric quality, that asura is a fallen god. So the Guru, the Shastra sees it in that manner. Ego will want to punish it. The Shastra Guru sees us as the fallen god. All that we have to do is to get back to that state. Are you able to follow? Therefore, judgment always means something negative by nature. With this, we conclude for today and we continue with the next verse.